Mr. Fuentes, how you doing, sir?
Hey, caught me while I was eating. I'm doing good.
All good,
I'm
man.
doing good.
So,
How are you?
I'm doing very well actually, and probably not as good as you, but I'll get to that in a moment. Now, the last time you were on the show, I think it was the end of July, right around that time period. A lot has happened since then. First among them, I guess you would call it the Groyper War, or however you want to dub it. TPUSA and YF getting hounded the last couple of weeks on campus, basically, and feeding the flames themselves. You pointed this out on Twitter, and I've talked about this too. That they kind of played into the whole thing by making it worse, especially last night. And I'll let you weigh in on all this in just a moment. But Ben Shapiro's speech was, I mean, he pretty much. I mean,
Put you on the map.
yeah. I mean, that's what I'm kind of trying to say. Like, I mean, he made you even a bigger thing than you were before just by his speech. That he felt the need to take the time out to try to pigeonhole you, to try to smear you basically last night. So I'll just go ahead and let you respond on all that's changed since you've been here in late July.
Also, are you going to try and copy strike him because he completely stole your content with the cookie bit?
Not a bad idea.
Right down to the irony, bro.
He read it without.
I was
an irony,
surprised he
bro.
ed the end in there because he read the whole joke and then he said at the last part, "I'm being totally ironic. I'm an irony bro. This is all ironic." It's like, oh, yeah, it kind of takes the wind out of your argument.
But he didn't
Yeah.
say respect to all peoples and cultures.
Yeah, true. He didn't. I guess he didn't get the full bit, but
Out of context.
yeah, it's been a pretty good couple of weeks, I have to say. We have been kind of angling to do something like this for years. Like I showed up to CPAC this year. I showed up to CPAC last year, and sort of the strategy is whenever there are these events or whenever we interact with these kinds of conservative people, we're always just trying to kind of cause a scene, trying to get them to engage, trying to get them to disavow whatever, to gain visibility, to expose some of the things that we're saying or expose things that we want them to say. And I have to say that it wasn't even me who thought of this. It was two America First viewers who asked the first two questions at a university in Colorado like 3 weeks ago, in the beginning of, or rather at the tail end of October. And it really just became a phenomenon in itself. We started at Colorado. The next day there were questions. The day after that there were questions. I think on last Tuesday, it was Ohio State. We streamed it on D Live. It was, we had 8,000 people watching the live stream last week. And so it's sort of just put itself together spontaneously. And it's because it's the perfect venue. We found through, I guess, attrition, through just trying everything, I guess, and knickers are sort of out there and challenging people. We found like a perfect venue for us to expose these people where, they're inviting, and it's been done before, I'll admit, but this is the first time it's been like coordinated and concerted and, led by content creators or influencers. And it's where people are, they're just asking for people to come up and talk about the liberty. It's an open mic. They're saying, come up, ask us anything. They're on stage with Don Jr. Somebody told me that, it's comparable to like a soft target in the military. These are like soft targets where they're totally exposed, totally vulnerable. We get the microphone that we can hold them accountable. And so yeah, it's been great. And I'll say, the last thing I'll say, and I'll pass it back to you, but what they're doing is completely wrong. Like, it's not wrong morally or ethically. It is those things, but it's not just wrong in those ways. It's also just terrible strategy. Like I said 3 weeks ago, before this thing blew up at all, I said, like, the one way that they could beat us is just answer the fucking question. If they just, if those two first questions, if they had just answered like, yeah, like we think Israel said it was an accident for the USS Liberty, and like we're in favor of legal immigration, like maybe they would have gotten some blowback. But the only reason that they've been facing so much backlash and why this is blown up is because they have done like literally everything in the book other than to simply answer the question, and then smearing people and calling them racist and deplatforming and doxing and all the rest. And it's made people very sympathetic to us, segregating the line and forcing people wearing MAGA hats to the back. people are starting to wonder, like, gee, like, why can't they just answer questions? So
Well, it's
it's
always
perfect in every way.
yeah,
Go
it's
ahead.
always the like I mean, it's always the cover up. It's always the
Yep.
pushback, and you know, we sat here on this show, and I know you did as well. We watched Ben Shapiro, so I was actually at the Matt Walsh thing first off the other day. To Matt Walsh's credit, he actually did take, I don't know, 5 questions, maybe 4 or 5 questions. Now they were all pretty much every single question was negative and was a Groyper style question, but he did take those questions. Now they kind of shut it down. I felt like they shut it down early, but you know, he did take questions. Now I watched Ben Shapiro's last night. I wasn't there at Stanford, but I watched it live on this show. I have a hard time believing that those were the top questions that
Yeah.
were the real burning questions to be asked to Shapiro. I saw YAF came out today and said, "Oh no, of course nobody was stopped from asking a question." I don't know what Nick, what you've heard about that.
I think we all know exactly what happened there. Yeah, everybody that's darker than a paper bag, yeah, put them at the front of the line. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they YAF, it was so funny. They released 2 statements where one of them said, we absolutely did not put plants in the line. Like, we absolutely would not profile people and whatever. And then they did another tweet the same night, and they said, there's nothing wrong with ignoring questions we don't like. There's nothing wrong with like profiling or ignoring trolls or whatever. So, and what I heard from people that were there is that they definitely did this. I heard that they absolutely profiled people, because we had people at this event. We've had people at every event so far. They line up first. And I heard from people that were at the event, they said that people were ushered outside based on what they were wearing. So, I mean, yeah, of course they did that.
Let me ask you this. What the fuck are you doing with Baked Alaska?
I actually like Baked Alaska.
You like Baked Alaska?
Yeah.
So what are you going to inevitably do when he stabs you in the back, just like he stabbed everybody else in the back?
Well, I don't know. I mean, who are you talking about? I know. I don't want to look. I mean, Baked Alaska can defend himself. I don't want to be the savior of Baked, but I mean, he's been my friend for, I want to say, 2.5 years or something. I mean, we know each other personally, and as long as I've known him, we've bickered, we fought, as anybody does, but you know, I don't really take what I see on the internet as evidence of somebody's a bad person. I mean, I know him firsthand personally for years. So from what I've known, I've never seen a backstabbing. I don't follow the e-drama too closely, and I don't anticipate he'll backstab me. So,
I mean, are you trying to like rehab him back into the right wing, or what's going on with that?
no, yeah. A lot of people tell me like, oh, like he's hanging out with Baked Alaska, or he's hanging out with Jacob Wall, or like, when I associate with people, it's really not that complicated. It's not like a strategy to, convince people that Baked Alaska is cool. It's like
Yeah,
Baked
I mean,
Alaska. Yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, but there has been I mean, to be, I have seen that. I know Brittany Venti and some other people have said, Baked Alaska is coming back around. What's going on now? To be fair, now I want to say this. Obviously, this stream has its own history with Baked Alaska. You're still here on the stream. You didn't say, I couldn't come on or anything like that. So and I do, as my own problems with Baked Alaska aside, I mean, he's your friend, whatever. I don't, why I wouldn't hold that against somebody personally. Your friends, your friends are your friends, so I respect that. So.
Well, yeah, and I'm not trying to, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not like trying to rehabilitate his image. I mean, that's not the play here. It's just he's my friend, and sometimes he gets involved in the things we do. I mean, he is good at what he does. He's he did work for BuzzFeed all those years ago, and I don't know exactly what you'd call that skill set, whether it's just like general audio, video, or event planning or whatever. But the experiences that I've had with him, he's pretty good at what he does. So yeah, but it's not part of some concerted like thing.
So
He's
it's
a
not
decent
that
rabble rouser, that's for sure.
Yeah.
it's not that your cum actually turns someone alt-right, just a useful idiot. Is that what it is?
Wait, what did you just say? I missed that middle part.
I said it's not that your cum turns somebody alt-right. It's that he's a useful idiot. Is that?
Nah, I wouldn't say he's a useful idiot. I would say that Baked Alaska has always been, I mean, if you go back years and years, he's always been basically conservative and basically Christian. And I think you have to understand, on a personal level, there can be contradictions within a person. People
Well, yeah.
people evolve, and I think what people are talking about is this like alt-right video that he made.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say,
earlier this year.
yeah, I was just gonna say though, I think the video that probably got him out of step a lot was the video earlier this year where he said, he kind of went, he seemed to be more left wing type, I guess, in the video, and but I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know that turned a lot of people off.
Yeah.
It definitely did for me. And at the time, me and Baked Alaska were kind of on not great terms because, there was this drama with Ashton, and I just generally didn't agree with the direction he was going in. But I mean, I'm not him. I don't control his life.
Sure.
But we were in sort of a rough spot where I think I said at one point, like, Yoba's canceled, and he got really mad at me for that. So we were kind of cool. Like, relations had cooled between me and him. And he put out that video, and I said, like, what are you doing? Like, you think this is going to, like, the left is going to like you or whatever. And from my understanding, what he was trying to do, and admittedly, I don't think he did this well. And I told him this. He said that he was trying to distance himself from the alt-right and from Richard Spencer, which is a difference. It's different to say, like, I'm not right wing, I'm a leftist, and I'm a leftist, and I want leftists like me, than it is to say, like, I don't want to be associated with Richard Spencer and all these other people. Now, again, I'm not saying that he did that well, but from the conversations I've had with him and from knowing him personally, I mean, he's still like a right wing guy. He still is, believes in Christianity and supports Trump and all this. But I think that was maybe a not so great attempt, because I did a very similar thing. I ran in similar circles, maybe in like 16 or 17, or I flirted with some of these ideas, and I gradually moved away from that. And I said, look, Spencer and I don't agree on things and whatever. And it's a very tricky thing to do. It takes a lot of tact because, of course, you start sounding like you're disavowing somebody, and it looks like, oh, he's knee-jerking, like trying to appeal to the media. People said that about me for years. Oh, Nick Fuentes disavows Spencer because he wants the media to like him. It's like, no, I just think he's like a toxic.
Well, yeah,
person,
if you had that happen where you
suck.
where you just kind of, I mean, you just change your mind basically about what you thought was going on.
Or somebody says and does something, and you're just like, yeah, I don't know if I necessarily agree.
But
with
yeah,
that.
I've seen that where maybe you just don't. I don't know. You don't talk to so and so recently, or maybe you're not saying the same thing, and they'll say, "Oh,"
or just maybe like some nasty thought comes around, and she has boogers in her pussy, and you're trying to fuck her, so you completely disavow the movement that was supporting you. But then after that fell through, now you're a grifter, so you try to get back in with that movement because it was the only time that you made some money in a couple years.
No e-girls.
I think it's just a very. I mean, certainly Ashton was involved in that. Like, I'm not going to lie, Ashton, I think, did influence that decision to make that video. But, I mean, you also got to recognize, and I think this is something that people have to try and empathize or step inside of his shoes. The people that were at Charlottesville, I was there, he was there. I mean, we have just had our lives destroyed because of that. I mean, I'm obviously doing well as a conservative. I had started my show and whatever, but generally speaking, like the social ostracism, and he was a much bigger guy at the time than I was. He had 200,000 followers on Twitter. I was like a nobody. So I think he really bore the brunt of a lot of that. Unemployable, it's hard to find friends and whatever. And, I can empathize with him that he would be at a low point in his life and would think, again, foolishly so, that if he made a video like that he could get a second chance, that if he said, oh, I'm not alt-right, whatever, that he thinks that he could, get back into the life. So
get a ticket back to regular society, basically. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I told him that was probably misguided. I told him, like, that's not going to happen. But I think that's, and again, I'm not trying to be the Baked Alaska defense.
Yeah, that's fine.
He's my friend. I'm trying to explain, as somebody who knows him, what I think his motivation was and what I think he was going for. But, this like, oh, he's a grifter. People that don't know him, people that like don't personally know him or whatever, they see shit that he does online and they're like, oh, like that guy's the bad internet guy. It's kind of gay, I mean, because I know the guy personally and he's never wrong.
It's gay for this guy to come out and say, he's alt-right and that he supports whatever cause is, and come out with gamer words and try to be part of some kind of movement or try to make money off of it, especially, and then to go back and completely disavow because he thinks he can make more money doing
What does it
something
do with
else.
money? I can tell you, Baked Alaska works. I mean, he is
Well, you said he
trying,
thought he would get back into the life. What life was he going to get back into? Like the mainstream? I don't
like he
understand.
would be able to have a job because he will have a
Yeah.
job,
Yeah.
and then people Google him, and then he gets fired. So I didn't mean like
Not that he was gonna get back in the
Yeah.
life of luxury or whatever. Yeah.
right or like in the left wing thing. It was
Yeah.
like, please, like leave me alone, like let me have a normal life, sort of a thing. So
Now
I
let me
just
ask
think-
you
I think
this.
it,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't want to. We've talked enough. Look, I don't want to make it like I know we've talked a lot about Baked Alaska, more than I intended. So I'll just leave it. Like, I mean, I don't want you like you don't have to sit here and defend him. But you did mention Richard Spencer, and we talked about his clip earlier in the week. What did you think about that? The timing of the clip, some of the people that were pushing it. I know there's been criticisms of Milo and stuff like that too, but it was kind of a curious drop. Now we sat here and had a lot of fun with it on the Killstream, nonetheless, because it's funny. I mean, what were your thoughts about the clip and Spencer and all that stuff?
yeah, I've heard that clip before. Full disclosure, I heard that like probably months ago. I know the guy who sent it to Milo. Like he played it for me
Right.
once, and I've actually I have a clip of my own just like that, a different one where Spencer called me up one day, and you should have heard the things he said to me.
I'd like to hear
So
that.
I mean, yeah, maybe one of these
I'm
days.
gonna
I might,
slap you silly.
yeah, it actually sounds. That's not a bad impression.
He didn't mention your heritage at all, right? He doesn't do that kind of thing.
You didn't
Yeah,
mention
never.
my hair.
Your heritage.
Oh no, the heritage did come up actually. It was-
Really?
Oh no!
Actually,
I'm so
it was actually a
surprised.
pretty funny impression. He did a pretty funny
Wow.
impression of. I'll admit it is comical looking back.
I
but,
want to hear this now. But anyway,
Yeah,
go ahead.
if I ever
Just
see it
save
in
it.
private, and I'll play
Yeah, keep
for
it in
you,
your hip
but,
pocket, but remember that we want to hear it here too. If you ever do,
Yeah.
release it. But
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. But who knows if I need to use that in the future. But in any case, this the clip to me, I mean, anybody who knows Richard Spencer, has known him before, I mean, knows he's like this. The guy's like a raging alcoholic, a drug fiend, like a serial narcissist. And I don't even say this as like I don't say this to somebody that's like angry or like trying to get people to dislike him. Like the guy's irrelevant. I have nothing to gain from shitting on him. This is all just descriptive. Like I said, if you know him, you know all this is true. And so it didn't surprise me when I heard it. It's not surprising that it got dropped. The timing of it, though, was problematic. Like I agree it was funny. And in any other time, I would think it was really funny and whatever. But, you do get to a point where, because we have this Groyper thing going on and we're challenging powerful people, I've been sort of elevated, obviously, with the Shapiro speech yesterday as like the face of this Groyper thing. And so normally I'd be like, oh, it's funny. Like, yeah, Richard Spencer's retarded, like whatever, he's gay. But because we're doing this thing now, this operation, which is kind of fragile, you have to question like why this was dropped. And, I talked to Milo about it, and he said that he has like a score to settle with Spencer. And it was just,
They
just
do
got the
have
clip.
heat going way back. I gotta, yeah. I mean, I do. I am aware.
Pretty
of that.
much what I said
I
on the
was-
show the
yeah,
other
it's a
day.
shame.
That I think that somebody.
Yeah.
It's obvious Milo hates him.
But
I think Milo's the kind of guy that if you give him something on somebody he doesn't like, he's not just going to sit on it. He's going to release it.
But let me ask you this, Nick. I know you put out a tweet. I think Chadwick Moore put out an article and said Nick fills Milo's gap or something like that.
I saw that.
And it was a fairly, and you rightfully pointed out. By the way, I didn't even see the title till a couple days later. I was like, oh man, what's Nick going off about? And then I looked at the title. I was like, oh yeah, that is kind of a disgusting title. But he put that out. What do you think about Yiannopoulos and Chadwick and all of them?
Well, I will say it's kind of interesting. For a long time, we all know, this is the elephant in the room that is not like a nice thing to say, but it's true. And I lived it. For years, nobody wanted anything to do with me. And this is something that people are going to have to deal with. If I become, and I may not, there's a good chance that I could just get deplatformed and you'll never hear it from me again. But if I make it, and there is a chance that I could, they're going to have to deal with somebody that for 2 years, people ignored me. People did really shitty, disrespectful things to me. And, Milo wasn't the worst one. I mean, we had an interaction. He apologized for it. I accept his apology. But I'm just speaking more generally.
Right.
People like Milo and like Chadwick, for so long wanted nothing to do with me, couldn't be pictured with me, didn't boost me, didn't invite me on their show, whatever. When I was trying to make it, when I was getting attacked by the same people they were, I got attacked by the Reagan Battalion. They tried to destroy my career 2 years ago, and I was a nobody. That's who did the Milo tape when he was going to be the keynote speaker at
I think they
CPAC.
actually hit you before Milo, did they not? Or right around the same time?
No,
at least?
they hit him after.
Yeah,
That was 2017 in February. They hit him, or March, and they hit me in August.
Okay, but it was the same time period. Yeah, you got hit by them too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the same year. And so all this is to say, it's like, well, what changed? I mean, it's like, a couple of months ago or a year. I would
we
say
know what
July
changed. I mean, let's be honest.
Exactly. It's that now we're influential. Now that we have the clout, now that the people see the super chats on my show, let's not lie. People see the money, people see the.
They're counting. They're literally counting your money as it comes in. I mean, that's
better than you.
You're just under the impression that somewhere down the road, Milo's going to try to settle his.
No, but I mean,
by
just
selling
think about how
$40
crazy that
Groyper
is, though.
shirts.
People are literally counting your money as it comes in. It's just,
And reading your super chats better than you do.
It's crazy, but yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, so here's the thing, though. I mean, that's the elephant in the room. You didn't like us before, now you like us now. We all know why. There's this epiphany, and I'll say, I don't know if it's totally motivated by money. I'll say, like, look, we need allies where we can find them. If people want to support our cause, that's great. If they're totally being sincere, or if they're being a little bit insincere, it doesn't really matter to me. Like, we can't really afford to be totally picky. Now, does that mean that I consider myself like a close ally and we're going to start sharing secrets and whatever? I mean, like, probably not. But he told me, like, we could do events together, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, like maybe we could, perhaps. But with somebody like that, it's like I said, it's like, we'll take the support. You want to say some things now. Okay. You want to say you're pro free speech and now you're going to defend us and say our critiques are correct. Like, okay. And I said this on my show, and this is the last thing is, like, for what it's worth, the three pillars of the questions have been, we're against degeneracy, we're against, we don't like foreign aid to Israel, and we oppose demographic change, and notably by talking about race. Everybody can talk about demographic change or like immigration. We're talking about illegal immigration or whatever, but we're saying, like, people that come into the country, if they're a different race, they're probably different than we are. They change the country. And it's like, on all three counts, it's like, well, Milo's obviously an open homosexual. He's pro-Israel. I mean, everything he said nice about us, he says, well, but I like Israel. And like a lot of these guys too, by the way, they say the same thing. Well, I like Israel, but maybe they got something going here, right? The Groypers. And on race, he thinks that race is, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it seems to me that he thinks that race is arbitrary, and he's in a mixed race relationship. So it's like, okay, like, maybe you respect what we're doing. I get this vibe that they're like, well, maybe we're not fully on board, but we respect your right to be there. And I think that's great that they're sticking up for us on that front. But at a certain point, you have to wonder how much can he be a part of this if on all three counts, it's like, well, I mean, you being on the stage would kind of be no different than like Rob Smith in some capacity. So
now,
those are kind of my initial
Let
thoughts.
me read these, and let me get Dick in, and then we'll take some calls, and then we'll go ahead and finish up, because I know you've had a fucking crazy week, and I know you're only here for a certain period of time. But let me read these because they paid me money to read them. Reno Miles says, I hate cookies, by the way. I want all the cookies baked. Let's see. Tips Monarch says, oi, cunt, I love Sephardic and Ashkenazi cookies. Okay. Matt Field says, Dick can attest, I wasn't even touching it. Sure. Kiosk Man says, enjoy life by making cookies at Rand Ranch. Cass Michael says, damn, I just got here. I have to check replay. Yes, you will. Terry 42069 says, how often do you have to beat it to be considered a coomer? I'm not sure of
Only once.
complete calculus there. Tips Monarch says, are they called abos because they're abominations? No, I don't think so. Zyklon Steve says, ask Nick about the voicemail, Ralph. What about the voicemail, Nick?
Oh, that's that call. It wasn't a voicemail.
From
It was
Spencer?
a phone call. But
From Spencer?
yeah, the Spencer thing.
What was it? I mean, could you tell? I mean, obviously, it's, you're not going to release it as of yet, but like, what was it over exactly?
Could you tell us what century the slurs he used were from?
Yeah. Did the slurs rhyme with your name? I just want to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
was pretty brutal. Well, he called me up because I don't even remember, but he at the time it was just like January 18th. He was doing a stream with who was it? Who was that? The teacher from Florida. What was his name? I forget. One of the NPI guys. They were doing these streams, and
oh yeah, he got outed and he got fucked over. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Well, no, he talked about like child porn.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
said,
yeah.
like,
Well,
like, oh, like
yeah.
for some people, like and I don't want to relitigate that, but he said that, and I said I implied like that he was pro pedophile, and and he called me. And I didn't. Well, actually, you know what's really funny about this story? I don't think I've ever told this part of the story. So I did that tweet. I forgot about it. Like I went back on Discord, whatever I was doing, and I got a call. I didn't recognize the number. I had just gotten doxxed that day. Somebody doxed my address like last year, 2018. And so I was kind of on edge. So an unknown number called me. It wasn't unknown, but it was a number that I didn't recognize. And I was like, oh, like, who is this? So I answered it, and I didn't say anything because I was waiting to like hear the other person say hello and like whatever, maybe say my name. And Rich Spencer was like, hello, hello. And I didn't recognize the voice. So then he just hung up. I texted and I said, who is this? And he was like, it's Richard Spencer. And I said, like,
there's the voice.
I think I said, I said, well, I said, oh, sorry. Like, I'm a little on edge because I got doxxed. Like, yeah, I'll call you back. So I called him. And it was so funny because I was just so casual. I had no idea. I forgot about the tweet. I was like, hey, Rich, what's up? And he goes, you fucking like piece of shit. Blah, blah. I was like, hey, Rich, like, what's up? And I was just like, I was so caught off guard. I was like, oh, like, why are you mad at me? Like, what? Like, okay, like, what's your problem? And he's like, that tweet, you called me a pedophile. And then I just started laughing, and I was like, "Fuck you! Like, you're done. Like, the movement doesn't belong to you anymore. You're going to hell. Like, fuck you!" Like, we got into it. It was just like a streaming match, and then he was like, "You're a spick, and then the next time I see you, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you." How he said at one point, he goes, "How hollow and wicked you are."
That's nice.
It was so he did an impression. He was like, "Oh, Mr. Spencer."
No.
Mr. Spencer,
We
no.
have to hear
Mr. Spencer, no.
I wasn't even mad. I was just dying because it was just so funny.
Oh my god. All right. You think you got to the bottom of the hour here, 9:30, so we can go through these and take a couple calls and
What's that? Until when?
till 9:30 is like 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
For
okay.
sure.
All right. Cass Michael says, Nick, you are awesome. Are you going on the Dick Show? We're actually here. In the
Oh,
Dick
please
Show.
do
Dick
at some
Show
point.
Studios.
Please do. You have an incredible gift for winding up assholes, and I want to talk about it all day.
Oh, is that you, Dick? I
Yeah.
didn't even know that was you.
Yeah, what's up, man? I was trying to be quiet because it's not my show, but this last week, oh, mwah, beautiful. I thought Shapiro should have had an empty stool sitting next to him, like Clint Eastwood's stupid speech the whole time. Like that entire speech is what you say to your girlfriend while she's consoling you for getting ass blasted by a superior male. That was so fucking great, man. So embarrassing for him.
Thank you, man. Yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of yours. Let's definitely do it. Just shoot me an email or something, or on Twitter or whatever.
I will do. Let's bake some cookies together. See how many we can get through.
That's gonna get me in trouble. But yeah.
Oh, not the cookies. All right. How surreal was it? How surreal was it to hear? But I just couldn't believe that he was actually reading out the cookie story. yesterday.
I
By the
know.
way, this is not a new clip. Like I saw this shit a year ago. Like before that, even. Like I mean, it was hilarious when it happened. I mean, I saw it back then, and now to imagine that Ben Shapiro standing up in front of an audience of fucking people and actually reading Nick Fuentes' cookie analogy is just unbelievable to me.
Nailed him.
Yeah,
You got
It
him.
is so funny. It's so ridiculous. Like what works for us is like it's retarded. Some of the shit we say. So when they take us seriously, they just look dumb.
It's like, what? You're actually sitting here reading things. Wow, you must be really fucking scared. Like, what is going on right now?
Man.
Well, if Cookie Monster makes this many cookies,
Yeah.
they're the best. the best is right immediately
It's
afterward.
fucking
He's like, well,
absurd.
according to the Museum of Jewish Studies,
Oh,
they're like
yeah.
the Holocaust definitely happened. Like, just in case anybody needed to be reminded, like I'm gonna quote how 6 million died. Like that to me was just icing on the cake.
Just think of all the millions and millions of dollars. That's how you talk about this on Twitter too one day. All the money they have behind them. All the
That's how you honor their memory? Well, this guy wrote a cookie analogy, and the only thing I can say is shit on the memory of 6 million people to like, what the fuck, man? What universe are you in right now?
Let me ask you this, Nick. When are you going to admit the truth about the situation that actually Jews put Germans into these camps and they were the real oppressors, and then everything was rewritten? When are you going to admit that?
Well, I've talked about the German concentration camps that what was it? Eisenhower put the Germans in concentration camps. I've talked about that on my show before. There were horrible atrocities against the German people, total. And you can read a lot of the documents before the war where it was, I mean, and I forget what the name of it is. It's like the Kalergi document, but it's slightly different, where they talk about how like the Germans must be destroyed because they're like a warmongering people or whatever. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can read about before the war from the Anglos, from Jewish people, certainly from a lot of people that they did not like the Germans. So I mean, that's a big part of history. It's just totally covered up. So I've talked about that on the show before.
The Germans have been pretty well destroyed now.
Oh yeah,
They're not
yeah,
looking good.
that was the plan, right? Bringing all the Arabs, whatever.
They are fairly cooked right now, I have to say. All right, let me read through these. Black Sun Raising says, what do you think people should focus on at the Don Jr. event? I heard you say skip Israel.
Yeah. So, I think one of the issues we're having is that it's not so much an issue. It's just a little bit of an imbalance that like the what we're trying to do is to focus on like three main critiques of conservative Inc. It's like a multifaceted attack. And the problem is people are like really fixating hard on Israel, which admittedly is funny. It's because Israel's the funniest and the most memeable and maybe the most indefensible aspect of their platform. But I think it turns off a lot of people that otherwise might be receptive.
Well, it makes it easier to caricature as anti-Semitic when it's all about
exactly.
I mean, not that I'm saying that's the case, but it makes it easier for them to say, oh, well, they're just talking about.
Well, yeah,
Israel.
it falls into the trap where they want to portray us as Jew haters or whatever, and it's like, well, if the fixation is on Israel, then it does come across that way because, of course, that's not really like one of the most relevant aspects of our platform. Like. I guess that's one of the bigger things happening in foreign policy, but like, what about demographic change? Like, what about degeneracy? Like, there are big issues that also need to get out there. So, and especially for UCLA, like, you got to think tactically that Don Jr. is going to be at this one at UCLA. And so to attack Israel is like, and I said this on the show, attacking Israel strengthens Charlie Kirk because Don Jr., for whether you agree with it or not, I mean, like they're on board with Israel. The Trump family digs Israel. So
you're attacking his sister.
Shit on Kirk for that is going to bring Charlie Kirk back into the fold, and they will go into defensive mode. If we hit them on immigration and we highlight how Charlie Kirk is different from the Trumps on immigration or other things, then that's going to make him look like a fucking asshole. Like if somebody goes up and says, Charlie Kirk, you said Nikki Haley should be president. What do you think about the time that Nikki Haley compared Donald Trump to Dylan Roof with the president's son there? I mean, could you think like the heads that would explode if that happened versus if somebody goes up and does some cringe like Liberty thing, they're just going to look like a retard, I mean, the asker will look like a retard.
So the main purpose of the Don Jr. event should be to drive a wedge between Charlie Kirk and the Trumps.
Right. And to humiliate. I mean, it's to humiliate them in front of the Trumps, but and also to drive a wedge, to get Don Jr. to maybe think like he's not in control and he's a liability.
Well, the Trumps actually they pay attention to that type of thing too. When it's like a cringe moments. Like I mean, it's been proven and reported that they actually pay attention. Where it's like, oh, okay,
they can read a crowd.
Get rid of that guy. Yeah, this guy's dead weight. Get him the fuck out of here. He's dragging us down. Like I mean, that shit has been known to happen in the Trump White House. So.
Is there a list anywhere of questions like that, Nick? Because I mean, there's a big list of the Israel stuff on 4chan every day. But I'd have a hard time coming up with smart questions myself.
Yeah, I didn't know about the 4chan thing.
I mean, just in general, I'm speaking as a joke. But is there a good list?
Bugle, the Columbia Bugle on Telegram tends to post a lot of really good questions.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you go on the various Telegram channels, it's not, unfortunately, we don't have a channel where it's all in one place. Maybe we should do that. But
Mm.
like Columbia Bugle, me, Vince James,
Mhm.
Patrick Casey, a lot of these guys have, or they're posting questions on their telegrams.
Would you say so far that, like in terms of presentation, that like overall this has been a success? Because I think I've only seen like one guy kind of struggle getting out his questions. Everyone else has been pretty concise in their like asking of their questions. Do you have any like criticisms of how things have been going so far?
I think everything's been going very well. And I'm surprised at the quality. I mean, the people who've been asking the questions are like decidedly normal. And, you know, even if the questions aren't great, like to me, I think of it as it's a Q&A. It's college students who are inexperienced in this. So the bar is automatically lower. Like you don't have to go up there and be like, you know, like me or like Ben Shapiro or whatever. You have to be like totally with it, because I think there's an understanding that it's college kids and it's young people and inexperienced. So the delivery's not perfect. I don't think that ruins it. The only big misstep, I think, was Grandpa Groyper, who did the
Yeah,
You
the
saw
Duke
that
one.
with the
Yeah,
David
that was a
Duke. I was
disaster.
there.
But it,
I was
The
there
guy
when he
that
did
couldn't
it.
pronounce
Yeah.
Father Coughlin's name right.
Wait, is that what you're talking?
Oh.
Wait, is that what you're talking about? The dude that did the David Duke sighting, and he's like,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
David Duke has him. He's not in the KKK. Yeah, I
it was like,
I almost
you know,
started busting out
fortunately-
laughing when he said that. I was like, oh my god.
It was funny, but and it turned out to not be a big deal. But it's
Yeah.
like little missteps like that are, you know, we try to.
What'd you
avoid.
think about Dylon though? Did you see him up there?
Oh yeah, he did a great.
He
question.
did,
Yeah,
actually.
me.
And
Yeah,
he
I
was
think
He
did
ready.
pressed
well.
he pressed the issue.
He was hype, man.
Yep.
He came in hot, and then Matt Walsh started screaming at him, and he's just
Now
like,
you're
"Whoa,
yell-
why
now
are you
you're shouting
yelling
me
at
down."
yeah. Now you're shouting me down. Yeah, he said that.
He actually
was-
nailed it. I was pretty proud of him. All right, let's see. I see Max Hall asked in the Leno chat about Baked Alaska. We covered Baked, and I knew it was going to get covered, and it you know, I knew the audience wanted it covered, but you know, how much can you say? Terry J says, "Hey Nick, would you rather have?" This is by the way, a common question here on the Killstream. Hey Nick, would you rather have met Adolf or Prince?
I'm gonna say for optical reasons, Prince. Maybe ask me again in like 6 months.
Depending on how everything goes.
Yeah, yeah.
Cass Michael says Baked Alaska is what got me into the kill stream. There's a lot of people who joined on that for sure. Then he says Baked Alaska is a complete joke. Then Cass Michael says Base Bibble. Ted Wang says, "I'm Mr. Wang. How you doing, sir?" He says Baked accidentally joined the Bloods and the Crips at the same time because blacks all look alike. Tips Menorah says Cat Boys over E-Girls ? Based question, not gay question.
Facts. That's completely factual.
Factual. Terry
I would say, yeah, Cowboys. Everybody misunderstands that. It's completely a non-sexual thing, but sounds like an e-girl shill. I mean, anybody who questions that, I question their allegiance.
What is it? What is it exactly? Explain it for a second.
What is what? The Catboy thing?
Yeah, what is that?
The Catboy, the Catboy meme on my show. It's like a long-running joke for like 3 years. I don't exactly remember the origin, but I think the joke was something like, you know, women are so bad that, you know, maybe we could just be okay with cowboys. Maybe we could just get used to that. And I think the original theory was, if the only way to defeat femoids is, you know, we have to starve them basically. So for a time we would transition to cowboys
For a
and then
certain
once-
period.
right? Yeah, I mean, just for an intermission, you know, and then when women were like, "Oh no,
Interregnum.
like take us back," you know, then we transitioned back. But you know, it's unfortunate that like 2 or 3 years ago, I had a Catboy channel on my Discord, which was a joke,
God.
and it was there. It was a public Discord. Everybody knew it was like a tongue-in-cheek thing. And to this day, I have people like who will make accounts specifically to be like, "Well, remember that Catboy channel in your Discord server?" Like, so I've tried to drop that. 'cause it seems we're kind of more trouble. It's not even that good of a joke, but it's more trouble.
Yeah,
than
more
it's worth.
trouble than it's worth. Yeah, I've been there. Terry Jester says, "Why the fuck are we talking about Baked? It's trash." Yeah, I mean, well, you know, at a certain point, what else can you say? I do respect people sticking by their friends because First off, I've had friends stick by me. Not always. People didn't always understand.
Very true.
Yes.
Very true.
Or there's people that I like that other people don't like, and they're like, oh, why don't you talk to that person? It is what it is. Gorzilla 37 says baked is all grifter, changes like the wind. Ted Wang says Richard Spencer is a hero who sacrificed everything for fundamentally Faustian Apollonian Zeusism.
Oh.
Wow, that really is quite the mouthful there. Hello to Mr. Wang again. Dave the Impaler says, Nick, what's Murdoch's beef with you?
Yeah, like people have been asking me for years, like, do you like Murdoch? And I take that back. I think I've called them cringe a couple of times, but I mean, my general position has always been like, I don't really like their content. And I've always said, like you can like their content. It's just my opinion.
They did include you on the new episode.
Yeah,
I had a cat eat your genitals.
Oh, I didn't see that part.
I didn't see that part
other
either,
one.
actually.
Yeah, at the end, their feral cat comes back and
No, I didn't see that.
and devours your genitals.
I didn't see that
wow,
part.
That's so funny. Yeah, they. I mean, just their whole presentation is just like you've been doing the same thing for 4 years. Like, change it up a little, That's my, based Murdoch Chan, based NS. They bring up who the fuck is it? Turner Diaries guy, William Luther, based Pierce. It's like that shit is just so cringe, dude. I don't know. It's Gen X people that watch it, I guess. No offense. No offense if that's anybody here.
No offense to present company. Yes, I understand. Drumboy02 says, watching Jesu on Twitch, and she just rated Hassan. That would be Jess Southern. I won't mention.
Oh,
it.
no.
I'd like to see her rated.
Oh no, gross.
Ted Wang says Milo isn't Jewish. He faked that. I've heard that before. But Ted Wang says likely black husband is fake. He talks like white twinks. That's according to Mr. Ted Wang. Fulgrim gifted 5 1-month subscriptions. Let's see. Kusa, Rafa Kun, Valve, Poor Sullen Man, some others in there. I think I'm almost. Oh, let's see. Solid Snake says LMAO Spencer's silent. Wait, hold up. Silent phone call to Nick sounds like Matt Damon's call to Leo DiCaprio in The Departed. Oh, shit. I need to see that movie again, by the way. Max Hall says, let's talk BitChute. YouTube is toast. Will BitChute step up? Yeah, what do you think about the long-term viability of YouTube? And then I'll let Dick ask you about what he was talking about last night.
So do you mean like viability for us or like in general?
Yeah, no, I mean just long term for your show. I mean, you could talk about yourself or this segment or whatever you want to, however you want to phrase it. But do you think YouTube is a long term viable option for you, or will you be? I mean, you're already on DLive. You already do stuff on DLive, and I know you're mixing platforms for a reason. It's not just by accident that you're jumping back and forth. But yeah, I mean, just long term, what do you think about YouTube and the other platforms?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I really have no idea because it seems totally random to me. I don't like a lot of people think this is like a systematic approach that they have, but to me, it seems like totally ad hoc. It seems like the different companies all have like different standards, and like it seems like low to middle level people are making these calls about like who gets banned or who gets demonetized, because it's like, James Allsup gets banned. I see some other people don't. Some people get demonetized. Some people don't. It feels like the things that I say, I mean, I try my best to conform to the TOS, but just based on other people that have been banned, it seems like, I might be at risk for that. So, I mean, to tell you the truth, I can't really forecast. I can't really get in there, understand their calculus for how they're going about this. I mean, I think everybody expects that anybody who talks about what I talk about would get banned eventually, but I've been okay so far. Maybe I have to get bigger to get on their radar, perhaps. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm hedging by going on DLive. I probably could continue the show on DLive.
Oh yeah,
so
without a
that's
doubt,
my backup plan, I guess. But
yeah,
we'll
DLive so far, and I've talked about this before, but DLive's been pretty good, to be honest.
I love
a lot of people. And yeah, there's been a couple wrinkles here or there, no doubt, but overall, yeah, I have to give them passing marks for sure. Patrick's with the diamond. Matt Field says, I just realized that I'm a knicker. dickhead is what it says.
Oh,
And
good.
then here's
That's great.
Priscilla, man. Go ahead. Speaking of dick, go ahead.
Oh yeah,
I'll
am
let
I
you
the
close-
token degenerate now?
I'll let you,
based on last night?
I'll let you close it out. Dick. Go
Because
ahead.
I'm one bad night away from Bronx. Is that what you're saying? As everybody knows, I converted to Islam the day after 9/11 because I saw who was going to win that one. You could see it from miles away. So when it comes to women, for me, it's as many as possible all the time. But these guys are saying your Christian values are the opposite of that, and I was shocked to hear that. I want to know more and possibly talk you out of it in 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, I'm Catholic, so we are against premarital sex, and of course, and it's very restrictive. Which I am a man. You can imagine how I might feel about that. That like the rules are pretty onerous, even when you're married, about like what you can and can't do. And obviously, it's one person until you die. So, but yeah, that's my faith.
Oh my God! And you're gonna keep that up for how? I would be married today if I had to follow that code.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm not like.
Ralph would be in a wig right now. I need it now. Will you marry me? We're in California and I'm ordained, so it's done. Let's go.
Like I get it. I understand like why it is that way in my religion. I'm not certain parts of me are not thrilled with this. And certainly I think about marriage and I think about really like one person forever from the time however you are until what if we live until 150? That's like a life sentence,
That's
I
a
can't
life
imagine.
sentence. Have you VR'd? Have you used the Oculus Quest, Nick? That might change your faith. VR porn is the future.
Oh, you're
Gotta hit up Andy Worski for that gigabit of
I haven't
frickin'
even
VR
seen
porn.
it. How is it?
We'll load it up tonight.
You have it?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's
What?
amazing.
Dick will direct you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll have to see this. Okay. Well, I just wanted to have that because Dick mentioned this last night. I forget how it came up.
I'm being attacked on all sides by these upstanding motherfuckers.
I forget how it came up. Somebody mentioned it, and I was like, no, he actually, his faith, he doesn't.
And I said, what? What? I channeled my abuela. I got JLP coming at me with abstinence from one side. I got Nick the Knife from the other. I'm starting to feel like the weirdo.
Let's see here. Terry 42069 says Terry says Nick is the most Chicago kid in East Chicago, Indiana. Now I'll get you out of here on this. I know there's a lot of callers. I know they're gonna all be mad at me because I didn't get them in and they wanted to ask you a question.
Well, I'll take some calls.
Will you? Okay,
lightning
because I was
round
gonna say
them.
because I
Lightning
promised
round
him a
them.
certain amount of time, so I'm gonna take most of the time.
Nice.
But what I wanted to ask you before I take some of the calls, and you can take however long you want, just over this last, I don't know, I'd say 6 months, but especially the last 2 or 3 months, what's been the biggest change to you in your life? I mean, because you kind of blew up in the last 6 months, but especially, like I said, in the last 2 or 3. What's been the biggest change? What's the biggest observation that you have throughout all of that?
Yeah, well, honestly, it's funny. My day-to-day life just doesn't change. I've been doing this for like 3 years, and it's like I'm same Nick, same program, up all night, sleeping all day, eating cheeseburgers. I do my show, I watch The Sopranos. Like the day-to-day hasn't changed much at all. Super chats go up, makes me feel good, puts me in a good mood. But I guess my biggest observation would be that I was totally right the whole fucking time. I've been at this for like 3 years, and everybody gave me so much shit about optics and he's an optics cook, so it is becoming successful to me. Like a lot of people, chase fame for a variety of reasons or achieve fame for a variety of reasons, but to me, the probably most satisfying thing is just like I knew what I was doing from the beginning, and I feel like a lot of people got in my head or convinced me that I was wrong or whatever. And I stayed the course all the time. Like deep down, I knew I had the right idea, but to see it come to fruition, I think anybody who's successful in their field knows that to see their vision play out and to defeat all the haters and the doubters, to me, that's the best.
It
feeling.
means
It's
a lot,
quite-
doesn't it? Really, when
it's the best.
when you
It's
defeat
like-
the haters and when you can say, "I told you so," I knew that's how it was going to happen. It's the most satisfying feeling of
Oh, it
all
is.
time. And I know you talked about Cassie Dillon and you talked about others, but just and we don't have to narrow it down to her. But how many people have told you over the years, and I've seen other people, just random people, comments that, well, if Nick just rounded a few of those edges off, maybe didn't talk about this one thing here or there, he'd probably be on Fox fucking News right now. I mean, this guy,
As far as we know, Cassie Dillon's rounded off quite a couple of edges.
No, but how many people just on the downline? I don't know if you have a number, but just did it happen a lot where people just said, "Hey, just chill out on this one little thing, we got you, you're gonna be
Cool
good."
with the anti-Semitic
Yeah,
remarks.
no, I mean a joke, but kind of like that. Like, just cool it with this, and you'll be gold plated. Like, did you ever get commentary like that from people that matter?
Yeah, I got a number of opportunities to do that. I knew Cassie Dillon, and of course, Cassie Dillon at the time was working towards an internship at Daily Wire. And so it wasn't Cassie Dillon, just her, but it was also not Cabot Phillips, Elliot Hamilton, who worked for Daily Wire. And Elliot Hamilton, I remember this real piece of work, total spurg Jewish guy. He called me up on the phone. He's like, Nick, I want you to meet Ben Shapiro. That's the next thing I want to set you up with a meeting with Ben Shapiro. And so I was like people had noticed me. Like when I broke onto the scene, I wasn't like a big guy, but I had like my first big event. Like Milo had seen it, Shapiro saw it. They thought like, oh, like we got to get this kid. And so I could have had a, thing with Daily Wire. I got talked to by agents who approached me. I mean, literally some guy sent me his resume. He was like a big time agent. And he said like, I want to help you, and I was like, oh, great. Like shoot me your information.
Right.
And he like never responded. And I said like, hey, like what's the deal? He said, I was going to help you, but you talk about Israel too much. That doesn't play well. I said, well, I'll try to cool it off, but like, no promises. I never heard from him again. I guess I didn't really cool it off. So I've gotten up, and that's what makes me so mad when people call me a shill. It's like I could be in a fucking like my own condo with a nice car, but for you, I did the right thing, and you call me a shill. So
I was gonna say that doesn't even make sense, dude. If you were a shill, yeah, dude, you could make so much more. I mean, anybody with a brain could just look at you and say, "Oh man, if this guy was just, if he would just follow the Ben Shapiro path, he would be, you'd be driving Bentleys and no telling what you'd be doing right now." Tips Menorah. By the way, thankfully you didn't, but I'm just saying. I mean, it's quite obvious that if they could mold you into one of those mouthpieces, they would love it. Tips Menorah says Dick will prep you for the Oculus. Terry 42069 with the Ninja Game didn't say anything. Okay, let me roll through these callers because Nick said he would take a few. This is for real lightning round, guys. This time, please actually adhere to it. You never do, but
just blurt out your question immediately.
Yes, that's
just
kind
say
of what
it.
I'm getting at. Just say it. No need for pleasantries, even though I love them and thank you, but just just speak. Foos, go.
Hey, evening, Ralph. Even Nick.
Yes.
I don't know if you know this, Nick, but the Killstream's also known as the porn supporting stream.
No,
so I want
that's
to know your
not.
stance on porn and coomers.
Thank you, Foos. Is that what we're getting pegged as now? That's not what happened.
I'm watching porn right now.
What do you think of porn? We did have Vince James on here last night. We did talk about porn a little bit. What are your thoughts on pornography? Should it be outlawed? Whatever.
I'm very against it. I don't know if I would go as far to say if it should be outlawed. I think probably we should be working towards that, but
should at least be shunned, though.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and because I just think about kids. I mean, to me, and obviously I think pornography is wrong for everybody, and I think it's bad for everybody. But, just like with the drag queen stuff or the transgender stuff, the most egregious expression of it is with the kids, or the worst consequences that, I mean, you've got people that are like children, like prepubescent, or people are like 12 years old, and it's so easy to find. Everybody knows that. You stumble upon it, ruins your whole life in a lot of ways. So I would say that I would put, I would really work towards getting rid of it if I were
now, what do you
charge,
think?
if
Do
I
you
was
think
the guy.
part of it is the delivery systems, though, and just how ubiquitous it is?
Right.
That, I mean, it didn't really used to be that way. If it could be rolled back, would you have a different view on it? Or no, you just
no.
say
I
get
mean,
rid
I
of it.
still. I think it's,
If we could incorporate STEM skills with pornography to incentivize teen boys, that's what happened to me.
yeah. I mean, if we could roll back, like you said, the access I think it would be a
I
different.
do think
story,
that
but-
that is something where you can just act. I mean, I don't know how to roll it back or what to do, but I was talking with Vince about it last night. I was, I wasn't even taking a position, although I am dubious on outlawing pornography just because I think that's gonna be a heavy lift. But what I was kind of trying to ask him was just how do you progress down the line? Like how do you kind of start dissuading that through the state apparatus? You know what I mean? Like how would you even do that? Like what would be
How do you put the coom back in the bottle?
yeah, I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
you just have to impose consequences for distributing it, for producing it, for possessing or consuming it, perhaps in some cases. It's not that hard. That's the thing. People, like we could never do, like people talk about the drug war. Like we can't win the drug war. It's like we could, like how can we use state power to stop a problem from happening? Kill the people that are doing it. Like obviously that is an extreme thing. But if we start from there, you can understand how, well, if they're not alive, like they can't do it. If the state can do that, like if there's a middle, we could do something maybe.
I think that's the Duterte doctrine there.
Get rid of appeals courts.
If their head is blown off, they won't be smoking any fucking crack. Okay. Terry, go ahead real quick, and then we're going to run through the calls just madman style.
Nick, can I just ask, do you support sacrificing goy babies to ensure Israel's GDP?
I do not.
I cannot be on a stream with the anti-Semite like this. I am going to leave immediately. I am offended as a
call you Rabbi.
Jew. I'm going to, but don't tell me what to do, Goyim. We tell you what to do. As a half Jew, I'm leaving immediately.
Go to sleep. You're taking too long.
Good night.
Good night, man. Thank you. All right, that's Bibble. Terry J with a Ninja Guinea, Terry J with a couple diamonds, and then Terry Jester says Ethan Ralph, owner and editor of the Porn Retort. Okay, I see. Max Hall says, what does Nick think of his tribe what does Nick think of his tribe handler / stalker? I don't know what that's about.
Oh yeah.
Which one?
Well, there was this main guy this guy was following me around a Politicon, this like turning point guy. He was wearing a yarmulke, and he was like following me around the whole thing. And he was at the ASU event this morning with Crenshaw. So the guys,
Oh yeah, you know what? We showed
Hiding
him
in the
on
back.
the stream. You
Yeah.
remember? We showed
Yeah.
him on the stream. Is that the
Yeah.
dude that has at the podium where he's at some Mossad hearing or
Yeah.
some shit? Like
Yeah.
yeah, we showed him on the Killstream. I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, that shit was weird. I'm not gonna lie. That was when I saw some people watching live and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's creepy as fuck now. It was just jokes before, but now it's super fucking creepy. All right, let's roll. Let's actually see if they can follow. Winston, lightning round, go.
Hey.
Lightning.
Yeah,
lightning.
Nick, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. I might be going to the UPenn event with Dinesh D'Souza. I wanted to know what I should ask him. I was going to ask about him getting Sam Francis fired, but I think a lot of people might actually come up to ask that. So do you have any suggestions?
Thank you, Winston.
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I mean, if somebody doesn't ask that, I think you should ask about that and do your homework on that. But if somebody does, like if somebody asks about that before you do, then I would ask about, I would probably ask about this Democrat stuff. Like to me, my biggest gripe about Dinesh D'Souza is the man himself is an immigrant. And he comes here and he says like, oh, like these great Americans like Robert E. Lee and FDR and so on were like evil because they were Democrats. And he says that, well, I make this country great. People like me, this country was shit before I got here. America meant nothing before Indians came over, and I made these movies and books. So
these
like
Bollywood
that whole
film
mentality is so wrong to me. Like, oh well, America's great because immigrants like me are here. Like I think America had value before you, and I think the people that you describe as villains are a part of our history and our heritage too. So maybe something along those lines.
You're saying they're more of a part of that history and heritage than Dinesh D'Souza. That's what
exactly. Well, yeah, I would just ask about I would just ask about that kind of this propositional nation idea that he's making America great. Like no, he's not. So something along those lines.
All right, let's roll through Gorgoth. Quick lightning round.
Hey, what's going on? I just want to ask Nick, have you read that letter, the for the USS Liberty.
Which one? Oh, from the Veterans Association.
Yeah, Flam, you read it on stream like I think it was a week ago or so.
I didn't read it on
Yeah.
stream, but
No,
yeah. Okay.
So wait, tell everybody what it says.
It was mostly just basically calling out Kirk about how
okay.
the deaths of those servicemen was not a conspiracy theory. That they desperately tried to cover it up, and that
The
he
Liberty
does a
thing really
disservice
annoys
to-
them. And I was talking with somebody earlier. It is kind of funny. I think it was Shapiro who said, "Oh, that was 50 years ago. What's your problem?"
Well,
Well,
it's
the
the
Holocaust was a
single
long
greatest-
time ago too.
It's the single greatest
you know.
example of them not being our greatest ally, and so it sends them into
Well, a lot
maximum
of shit
damage
happened a
control
long
mode
time
every
ago.
time.
Well, don't worry about it. That was a long time ago. Whatever. I mean, if
Let
it's good.
bygones be bygones.
Well, if it's good in
obviously.
one case, it's good in the other, right? All right, Gorgoroth, thank you, man. I appreciate you
All
calling
right,
in.
last thing is
right.
Asterios abuses women.
Oh, Asterios, no. Okay. Petunia, go ahead quickly.
I got a quick question. I was just wondering how you guys thought about all the people attacking Jeff Sessions for running, like all the Never
I
Trumpers.
actually
and everything.
haven't seen a lot of it, but I do know that he declared that he was going to run again yesterday, and we didn't get a chance to bring it up. I'm glad that it happened because it's going to give me more stuff to talk about. But I don't know that I would not vote for Jeff Sessions in Alabama.
Oh, traitor.
That's just my opinion. And it's not because of any of his necessarily any of his beliefs. The guy's pushing 80
better than
fucking
running
years
Roy
old.
Moore
That's
again.
why I wouldn't vote for him. What the fuck? I'm sick of all these people, and
I don't
it's
know, he did stuff
nationwide, by
against
the way.
immigration.
All these old, yeah, that's true. I mean, I agree with you.
And he was the only person to get
That's
fired from
true.
the White House.
That's true. I'm just saying the guy's old as fuck. You can't tell me why
Dude,
are
the
all these
guy's
80-year-olds
great.
in the fucking United States Senate? Is what
Yeah.
I don't condone.
Yeah, but Ralph,
He
it's
shouldn't have
better than
recused himself.
frickin' Roy Moore
Well, that's
running
true.
again
He
and
should have
losing
never
his
gave up his seat in the first
Yeah.
place.
They should
Yeah.
make them all stand all day, no chairs
Yeah, exactly.
in
It's
Congress.
like in the PGA Tour. Once you have to start riding the cart, you're on the fucking Champions
Yeah.
Tour, right? You can't. I don't know.
Give
It's
them
just-
their own Congress where they can pass laws for each other.
I don't know.
and blindly obey them.
That's just my gut position. I don't hate. I don't hate
Well,
him or
there's
anything.
no one else that's gonna run, so I was.
Well,
just
Roy
wondering how
Moore
you
is
guys
running
felt
down
about-
there.
Oh yeah, Roy Moore, man. I voted for him the first time.
That worked out. That worked
And the
so
second
well
time.
out the first time. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you,
He's
Petunia.
a weird
I
guy. But,
appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right, let's keep going. Normie, quickly. Lightning round. Normie,
Oh God.
you're about
Turn
to
off your radio.
you're about to strike
Never,
out.
Hope he's
ever,
not having a
ever.
domestic back there.
Oh well, he struck out. Ryu, lightning round, go.
What's up? I got a question for Dick
Jesus
here.
Christ.
So,
go ahead.
do you just act like a pussy slayer on the internet because you're a fucking cuckold that let your cam whore girlfriend fuck other men? Hula Girls 89. Is that where Bibble was? He wasn't killing people over chicken. He was porking your fucking girlfriend. You fucking cuck.
Did you make a new
Wow.
account, Boingo?
Is that Maddox?
Who is this?
Is that the Kiwi Farms?
I don't even know.
I don't know. No.
I have no idea.
Fire starter! Fucking instigator! But really, you're a fucking
Thank
cuck.
you, Ryu. I appreciate you, man.
You waited 3 hours to see to say that.
Justinian Murphy, go ahead. Lightning round, go.
Nicholas, you are hollow and wicked. I will ritualously humiliate you. You'll be like Senor Spencer, no. And I'll look down and say, no. My ancestors owned doctrines like you. I ruled the world. Asterios abuses women, but that's not my question. I don't get it. There's a certain cookie recipe. You bake it 109 times, and it gets thrown away every time. There's got to be a reason for that, right? If all the shit.
Oh, you're trying to get me in trouble. You're trying to get me in trouble.
No, let's
people
not.
make this same
Let's not
recipe,
go
they
into
throw-
the.
Okay,
Let's
yeah, you
not
work
go
for
into
Charlie
the
Kirk, bro.
Keebler. No, we don't want to go into the Keebler
Yeah, I
territory.
fell for that once. Paying for it still.
No, don't. Constantine, quickly, lightning round, go. We're trying to get everybody in. Go.
Ideally, if you could, would you want him to turn America First into a whole conglomerate like akin to Infowars, or are you content with what you have now with just?
Good question.
I tried that before. Me and James also tried to do a network, and honestly, it was difficult.
It's a huge headache
it's
once you try to
difficult,
raise
so.
it to that level, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, well, and you just got to deal with talent. It's a whole different ball game. Like for me, I produce my show, I do my show. It's just me, it's solitary. I'm accountable to myself, and bringing in other people, it just complicates things. So I mean, maybe in 5 years, who knows, that'll have been done. But for now, I'm good with just my show.
All right, let's keep going. Grand Admiral, quickly, lightning round.
Hello, Ethan Ralph. It's me, Chase Bank. I'm just here to confirm that you're conducting commerce in a way that's beneficial for the state of
Thank
Israel.
you, Chase. Always. Thank you.
All right. See you later.
Well, that's all he wanted to do. Dontrell, go quickly.
All right. So, Nick, my question for you is, what is the eventual goal for you for the American First Movement, and how do you think you can bring your version of conservatism back to the mainstream?
Great question.
Yeah, good question. Well, I think we're doing that already. I think, the way that we do that is, and it all goes back to the optics stuff. Like, there is a real appetite for these ideas in the country. People don't like immigration. They don't like the fucking degeneracy, particularly conservatives. People, especially young people, do not like Israel in the same way that the baby boomer and the silent generation do. So I think there is the market is ripe for what we're doing. We just have to keep the optics good. We have to keep it persuasive. We have to be strategic, which is what I've been saying for years, So my eventual goal, I don't have a set goal in mind. There are so many variables and everything is so contingent. It sounds like a cop-out, but it's not. Like, we don't know what the internet's going to look like next year. We don't know.
It's not like you planned this whole thing out in the first place, really.
Right. We think basically extremely short term. It's a very tactical game. And so I'm just trying to see how far we can take it. For now, we're just fucking people up, and we'll go as far as we can take it, is what I'll say.
All right, let's keep rolling. Lightning round, Carl Benjamin, go.
Hey, just want to say, Nick, I found another Nicker. I know you were talking about that, and yeah, I met another Nicker in real life. So.
Oh, base. Good.
Yeah, pretty base. But my question, or not really a question, but I just wanted to ask if you had seen Andrew Clavin, the Daily Wire's very own Andrew Clavin, has a D-Live channel now.
No, does he? Wait, is that true?
Yeah.
That would be cool. Actually, you know what? Not even encouraging any, chicanery or whatever. I do wish more people would start using D-Live, not just on one side or the other. So yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to let you know that, just in case you hadn't checked it out, Nick. So.
Yeah, no, I didn't know Daily Wire was getting into the D-Live scene. Who knows? Maybe Michael Knowles will have another channel, right? We'll see.
Yeah.
All right,
thank you.
Thank you, Carl. By the way,
Sebastian Gorka could come here.
By the way, real quick before I run through, real quick before I run through the rest of these callers, Lady MAGA. I know I talked to Dylan was talking about possibly coming on the Killstream. What about Lady MAGA? Real quick, taking the pictures with Knowles. And I know it was trolled, and I think I retweeted a meme or two about that. What do you think about Lady MAGA, the cross-dressing Trump supporter?
Well, I actually saw Lady MAGA. He was on the Weekly Sweat tonight, actually, and I caught like a couple minutes while I was changing, getting out of my suit, ready to go on the Killstream. And you know what I have to say? Like, I'm not about to defend it, just so you understand. But I have to say, he seemed like a nice enough guy. He expressed in that debate, he said he likes me. Not in a weird way, but he still he agrees with some of my views, and he said he'd be open to debating me. So I'll say that, Lady MAGA as a person, I obviously hate the drag queen stuff. The homosexuality I'm obviously opposed to for all kinds of reasons. But, I will say, and I don't think I ever expected myself my whole life to be saying this, that, at the very least, Lady MAGA says that he'll engage. It's kind of incredible that somebody like that, after things I've said about homosexuals or drag queens or whatever, is more willing and more civil towards me, more willing to have a conversation, and any fucking person in conservative, like Cassie Dillon. So I'll say, like, he's kind of like obviously a pawn in like a political game, in the sense that he's the avatar of like degenerate conservatism. So, obviously we oppose that, but Michael
You're saying
Knowles,
personally, you don't.
Yeah. So I don't know if and people think that's cucking or whatever. I really don't have a personal hatred for people that, like, whatever. If people are harming children, I hate that. If people are like, fucking with me, like, I hate that, obviously. But I can't watch somebody who's just like, I mean, I hate drag queen stuff, but I mean, he wasn't wearing the makeup. Maybe that was disarming to me. He wasn't wearing the makeup. He was just a dude, so maybe that like fucked with my head. But in any case, obviously,
Oh, I was
that's
gonna
just
make
on
him
the
wear the
outside.
full get up if they came on.
Oh,
Killstream,
yeah.
Yeah,
but-
you'd have to.
All right, let's run through. I just wanted to ask you that real quick. Chicken sandwich,
Sure.
lightning round, go, 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 go. Oh no.
Yo.
Yes.
Hey. Fuck. When are you gonna get politics ghost on the show?
What?
When am I gonna have a ghost on? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Bro, man, you gotta make that happen. That boomer's funny as shit.
All right, I'll see what I can do, sir. Thank you. Thank you, man, for calling in. Man, that can
We're not on the greatest of terms with Ghost. He
no, we have no
he's
problems.
not a fan of us.
We have no
Aw.
problems with Ghost. I've never really.
We
talked
love
to
Ghost.
I've never really
The
talked to
host of
Ghost.
the
We
I-
do
I-
love Ghost. I
think
don't know if
sent
the
him-
feeling's mutual.
Yeah, that's true. I sent him a message, I don't know, a year and a half ago or so. It's been a while now, and I was like, hey, why don't you come on? I never heard back, so whatever. I did my part. Lieutenant Binary, you're on the Killstream lightning round. Oh, wow. That was quick. Normie, second chance, lightning round, go. Oh, no. You had your second chance, and you're still
Oh, can you guys hear me? Am I on
Yes.
Lucky.
Go.
Yes.
Lightning round.
there? Okay. So where did the word Groyper come from?
Yeah.
Or like what does that term mean? That's my question.
That's a fair question, actually. Can you answer that, Nick?
Yeah, I invented Groyper. I drew the first Groyper. It's actually my middle
Cowboy.
name. That's what
Wow.
the J stands for, is Groyper. So no,
Oh.
I'm kidding. A lot of people are pissed at me because of the Groyper thing.
There
I
are
think
some.
the
I've seen that
drawing-
out there where they say, "Wow, I'm the true," the
It's
true.
so
Groyper.
gay. It's like, ooh, we started it. It's like, okay, fuck you. Like,
Or
I'm Spartacus.
I have seen a
Yeah.
couple where they'll say, "Oh, Nick has me blocked" or something. I'm like, okay,
yeah, they're like,
yeah.
Nick says that he represents Groypers, but how many Groypers does he follow? It's like,
Yeah, I've
what
seen
are you, like NPR? Like you're doing an investigation? Like kill yourself. That kind of shit to me is so stupid. But it was like what was it? Easter Toad was the original drawing, and I guess it was on the Chans for a while. And I guess there was a guy who called himself Groyper on Twitter, and he used that as an avatar. And so it's been around for a couple of years. It's like a derivative of Pepe, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well. Okay, let's see. There's like three binaries trying to jump. I thought didn't we just have Grand Admiral? Didn't he just
Yes,
come on?
he did
Hey,
just come.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he's
did,
trying to
but
come
don't
in
bring
for a
him back
second
in.
call. That's not gonna happen. Yellow Lantern, lightning round, go.
Hey, thanks so much. Also, shout out. This is an amazing week of the Killstream.
Thank you,
All the
sir. I
stuff.
appreciate that.
All right, so for you, Nick, I've got 3 quick questions. The first one is, what's your take on the ABC story about the whole thing about them killing Epstein? Probably the killing the Epstein story.
3 quick
2, have you
questions.
read anything by philosopher Mencius Moldbug? And 3, what's your thoughts on women in politics? That's all.
Okay, very succinct.
Yeah.
For the first question, I mean, it's so.
Oh wait. Whoa.
Oh no.
Moved him. Wait. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh,
Nick.
God.
Sorry. I moved
So
you
for
to
the
the wrong
first
room.
question,
Go ahead.
with ABC, like the reason they killed that girl's interview is because she was gonna they said that the British royal family leaned on ABC. Yeah, I'm sure the British royal family was the only fucking
Yeah.
foreign entity that leaned on them. It definitely wasn't the Mossad or Israel or World Jewry or anything like that. But
Or the Clintons. What the fuck?
or yeah, the Clintons. I mean, it just goes to show we already knew. Like the whole world is controlled by pedos, and world Jewry plays a part in this to some extent. So to me, it just proves everything we've been saying. The press is controlled, the fucking government's controlled. Which I went crazy when this happened on my show back in July. I went like insane for a week. So that's my feeling on that. The second one was Mencius Moldbug or Yarvin. Yeah, I've read some of his stuff. I read like Unqualified Reservations, a couple of essays, like the intro essay, and I think I've read because at the time I was like a Wignat. I read his one of his articles on like Jewish power. He's like, yeah, Jewish power like doesn't exist. So nobody should care about it. So that kind of turned me off because this was like 2016, 2017. But his general thoughts about like the cathedral and the influence of Angloids and families and things like that, I think is basically legit. I think he's a very smart guy and a good writer. But yeah, I never really got into it as much as other people. And women in politics, women don't belong in politics. So that's always been my position.
There you go. Very succinct. Thank you, Yellow Lantern. Rabbi
Women in
Shekels.
politics are just e-girls of the political realm.
Quick, Rabbi, go.
Yeah.
We have many allies, Nick. What is your favorite country that's our ally, and why is it Israel? Also, Epstein didn't kill himself.
Thank you, Rabbi. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably like Australia, I guess. Australia, closest ally. That's the meme we've been saying.
I was kind of curious which country you were gonna pick. Oh, that's it, Nick. Thank you, man, for being generous with your time here. Got about an hour, a little bit over an hour, I think, with you. So I appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for having me.
on
It
the-
was, fun. I always love coming on the Killstream.
I appreciate it, man. It's been what? It's only been what, like 3 months or so since you've been on, but 3 months, a lot can happen in those 3 months, man.
Crazy.
I've been very proud to see what you've been accomplishing, and I wish you the best on it. And just let me know.
I look forward to the next Democrat debate stream where you triple Vouch's viewership and he gets really butthurt about it.
Oh, by the way, he definitely does not want to come onto the kill stream to confront Nick. He wants to do it on his show, apparently.
yeah. See, he could have called in tonight.
I would say he's afraid of the knife.
He had all the
and also
opportunity
being
to
called a
call in
pedophile,
tonight. Well, see, the thing about it is, every time he calls in on here, we let him restream it to his own show anyway. So what's his excuse? To be honest, whatever, you know.
Well, I have always, for what it's worth, I said that I wouldn't debate him because he has Asperger's. That never goes well. You know? I said on my show because Asperger's people, they like, because if
It
I
never
ever got
ends.
like a point across, if I
Yeah.
ever like slighted him, and I said this on my show, like, if he wins, I lose. But if I win, everyone loses because, you know, they cannot allow you to make a point. They'll be like, I can't lose. I can't lose. You know, they break down. They like malfunction. So, no, I don't know. I might confront him. I guess it would, I'm in like a good mood this week. So I'll be like, I'll confront anybody. But
Yeah, I was gonna
but
say you're
probably,
riding high right now. You pretty much chopped down anybody at this point.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
But
Will
yeah,
you
man,
be,
thank you for coming back
will you
on.
be-
I just want to say this. Maybe Christmas. I'm trying to put together a Christmas season show.
Oh, sure.
so,
Yeah. Let me know.
I'm big into Christmas. I love the holiday season.
Nice.
So I'm gonna try to put together a big Christmas show. So hopefully, maybe we can get you back on in December on our Christmas extravaganza that we're planning on the kill stream.
Also,
All right, cool.
Nick, will you be restreaming the Charlie Kirk Don Jr. event?
That's a good question.
Yeah. That'll be on Sunday. So I will absolutely be doing that.
I might go to that. I'm in LA. I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna go. I went to the
Do
Matt
it.
Walsh
Get
thing.
ask a question.
I know. I want to see.
Plug the kill stream during it. Do it.
I almost got up.
Trump
I
Jr., will you
almost
come on the
got
kill
up
stream?
during the Matt Walsh thing and just blatantly plugged the kill stream. But there were so many people there who wanted to ask, good questions
Yeah.
and stuff. I just thought, that would be tacky if I got up and did that. You know what I mean? Like a lot
That's
of people
fair.
here wanted like substantive questions. If I just got up and fully just threw my big ass out there to promote the show, like it would look a little tacky. So I was like, nah, I'll just sit
fair.
here and document.
Didn't you want to go to the Logan Paul KSI fight?
Yes,
with-
well, that's
in
different.
full
That doesn't mean
plantation
anything.
gear? You're talking about tacky.
That's
What is
different.
this
I'll be
shit?
tacky there, but I don't want to
Okay.
distract from worthwhile goals. That's what I'm getting at. Everybody at the KSI Logan Paul is complete degenerate. That's why me and Dick are going.
Yeah.
So, what next time we check in, I'll have some stories about that. Nick Fuentes, thank you, sir. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Just let me know about Christmas.
Definitely, I will do, man. Have a
All
good
right,
one, sir.
take it easy.